Hi, and welcome to Freshwaves. I'm your host, Bren Masson. Today, we have a really interesting show lined up for you. We're going to be speaking with Mary Jo Vradis and Karen Stintz, and we're talking about Variety Village. We'll start with Karen. Karen, you're the CEO of Variety Village. What is Variety Village?
Thank you, Brenda. I am indeed the CEO of Variety Village. Variety Village is an incredible place. It's been serving the Scarborough community for over 70 years, actually. And it started as a school for kids with disabilities who couldn't attend the mainstream school system. And it has evolved over the years to now being a recreational facility to help kids participate in sport, fitness, and recreation. But we're also open to the general community. So we have a very vibrant, diverse community at Variety Village. And our mission throughout the last 70 years has really been focused on breaking down barriers for kids with disabilities so that they can realize their full potential. That's
fantastic. Now, I must tell you that I went to college. I went to Centennial College and did rec leadership, and we were quite involved through the program with Variety Village. But that was a long time ago when dinosaurs freely roamed the earth, as my kids tell me on a regular basis. But you have been around for a really, really long time. And I notice a lot of things on your website right now as I scan through. Words like inclusive, where the kids are no longer sort of segregated and on their own. They're actually included in all kinds of different things with kids that don't have disabilities.
Yes, and that's the true magic of the facility because and our programming here, and that we do have the ability to have integrated programming. So kids with disabilities play alongside kids without disabilities, and through that process, we break down so many barriers, not only for the kids who have a disability that can sometimes for the first time realize that they could do things they never thought they could do, but also for kids without disabilities, they have the opportunity to see what kids can accomplish. And it changes their perspective on what a disability means. So it's incredible, really. And I feel very lucky and privileged that I've been able to be here for the last 6 years and see all that these kids have accomplished and all that this community represents.
Well, it must be inspiring to you almost every day.
Absolutely.
So Mary Jo, tell us a little bit about how you got connected with Variety Village.
My son was diagnosed with cerebral palsy at about 10 months, and we didn't really know what that meant or where to go or how to sort of what to do. And then we started doing physiotherapy at Variety Village, and that just changed our life. Like, we suddenly were introduced to an adaptive facility that included everybody and showed us that, you know, when you don't know what this diagnosis is, you're introduced to other families who've also been through it. It gave us community. And it really it gave us hope. You know, it made us realize that our kid was capable of a lot more than we ever understood. And it was really just removing the fear of the unknown. So that was huge for us.
Mm. And so you've been with Variety Village since Alexander was really young.
He's 16. We actually started at Variety Village when he was 2. So we've really seen everything that Variety Village has to offer. We've seen the communities, we've seen all the adaptive programming, and we've really, like, it's opened up Alexander's world specifically to so many possibilities that we didn't even know existed. Like, he's tried every single sport. Because of Variety Village, he got to be on the Rick Mercer show. He's been involved with Pizza Nova. Like, he's tried baseball, taekwondo, swimming camp, rock wall camp. Like, there's just so many things that we would never have thought possible. But because this is an adaptive facility and it does introduce him to other kids without disabilities, and it teaches them, what's the word I'm looking for? Empathy, I guess, but also just like that anything is possible. If that makes sense.
It does make a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, for all the listeners out there, if you have never gone and checked them out, go on the website and check out Variety Village. The pictures are so cute. Kids with just massive smiles on their faces having a blast. And that's what you want to see with all kids around the world, I think. So Karen, tell us about the facilities. What does Variety Village have to offer other than a really awesome-looking swimming pool that's on your first page?
Yeah, so swimming pool is quite an attraction in the community, I can tell you. So we are 170,000 square foot facility, so we're quite large. We have an indoor track, 3 basketball courts, a cardio room, a weight room. We have a rock wall that Mary Jo mentioned. We have high ropes. We have an accessible baseball diamond that we're in the process of building out in our courtyard area. We have downstairs a Taekwondo facility, and we have just a ton of space that kids can come and play and learn to play and be part of a team.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's really super important for a child's development, isn't it?
Absolutely. There's one story that was particularly moving for me when we introduced Volt hockey to Variety Village. Volt hockey is an adapted type of hockey that's played on a cart that's battery operated. So kids with very low mobility can still play this game and be part of a team and be independent, which is really, in some cases unique from sledge, because sometimes in order for a child to play sledge hockey, they need someone to push the sledge for them. But with Volt hockey, these kids can be entirely independent and playing on a team and playing this game, the great game of hockey, the Canadian sport. And we had one child come and play, and he, the week that we introduced the sport, it was several years ago, 5 years ago, we actually had some of the Toronto Maple Leaf players come and sit in the chairs and play against the kids. And of course, we had this exhibition game, and the kids won, of course. And at the end of it, the little boy, he was commenting, and he said, I love hockey. I have all the stats. I know all the names. I have the cards. But I only ever thought I could play hockey on a video game. He said, I didn't even think I could dream the dream to ever play against a Toronto Maple Leaf player.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. So that's what we do. As Mary Jo said, it's a place to dream, and it's a place where dreams come true.
So has your son, Mary Jo, had any of those aha moments of, wow, this is an incredible thing?
He has. Again, like my son's a bit of a showman. He's always sort of been a show off. So for him, he's been allowed to do that. They've had a lot of promotional stuff. Like they'll do fundraisers called That's Amore with Pizza Nova every year, and AJ's been involved for many years, and he would always show up at 6:30 on breakfast television and help promote the fundraising for Variety Village. And through that, he got to throw out the first pitch for the Blue Jays, and he got to meet John Tory, and there's just been so many things for him that he loves that kind of stuff. So he likes to go in, and he also, I walk through Variety Village behind him. He's like the mayor, everybody knows who he is, and I just kind of let him do his thing. It's a place where he really, really feels like he belongs, like he's included, and people know his name. And it's not like people are moving too fast for him, like where it is in the rest of the community where he can't keep up. Here, he's a part of everything.
That is such a wonderful way to feel.
Yeah, it's been pretty special for us. I can't really say that about too many places. Variety Village is very unique. It kind of stands on its own.
And it's funny you say that, because there are some places where you could go and you hope that everybody's going to be accommodating, but sometimes they're just not.
That's just a lack of education, though, more than anything. And I think that's part of our issue, is just promoting awareness and letting people know that this facility exists and there's an opportunity for kids to be able to do these things. And I think that's part of the problem, is that they don't know about it.
Mm-hmm. Now, is Variety Village a one-off?
Yes, we are. We're actually, Variety Village was built by the charity called Variety, the Children's Charity. And so we are the only location in Toronto, but we have, over the last several years, realized the importance of bringing our programs into communities. So we've been partnering with facilities such as the Y, MLSE, to municipalities to bring our programming out into those communities, because we know that not every kid can come to Scarborough. So we're now trying to figure out how to get our programs to kids where they need us most through partnerships.
Wow. That sounds terrific. When you're talking about Variety Village, I think, well, there should be one in every single municipality, shouldn't there?
There should, but they're just expensive to build.
Yeah.
And, what we found is, as Mary Jo said, it's about education. It's about understanding that disability is not limiting. A disability is an opportunity to figure out new ways of adapting or constantly adapting. And so part of what we want to bring is not just our programs, but also the cultural shift around how do you accommodate and adapt programming for all kids.
Okay, well, give us an idea of what that looks like.
Yeah, so one of our programs is the Children in Emotion program. And it's where kids can, kind of learn some of the fundamentals around catching a ball, like something as simple as standing in place. That for some of these kids, it might be the first time they've done it because they've been in a program, say, at their school and the phys ed course where the teacher doesn't know how to help these kids set goals and learn these basic skills. So the kids are often off to the side. And when you're off to the side, it doesn't just mean that you miss out on that particular aspect of instruction. It means that you feel like you're not able to be included. And over time, when you feel like you're not included, you start to believe that you're not included. And that's the piece where we want to break down. And so our Children in Motion program, we deliver at MLSC, the Launchpad. We were delivering it in York Region and about to deliver it in Mississauga. And so that we could have these kids really, truly feel what it means to participate. And what we found is that after participating in our Children in Motion program, the kids would go back to gym class and they would be able to stay with the class, to participate with the class. And the feedback to the parents was that it's been great now that, little Johnny is able to keep up. And the parents are, well, little Johnny's able to keep up because he actually had the experience of what it meant to be included. And that was through our program.
Wow. That is so amazing. The education component is almost like this. There should be a program in every single school that educates kids on how to include kids who are not the same as they are.
Yeah, we do. We have a program called Ability in Action, and it does just that. It talks about what it means to be what it means to have an inclusive approach to sports and fitness, to recreation, to play. And we have it where we can go out and deliver it in person. We have a virtual version, and then we have a downloadable one that teachers can download and use at their own discretion. And again, it is aimed at how do we help individuals that may not have as much experience with inclusion better adapt their programming so that there really is a full participation of all kids.
Yeah, it kind of blows my mind that has to take place, but I guess it does in our society. My kids went to a really cool school out here in Stouffville called Whitchurch Highlands Public School, and one of the students was physically disabled. But I guess the kids grew up with him since he was in kindergarten, and they all rallied around him. He was involved in all kinds of activities. The teachers knew how to include him in everything, and he had a wonderful experience at school. But I've heard that other students don't have such wonderful experiences at their school. They very much are on the sidelines just observing.
Yeah, in many cases, that is the case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've seen that happen personally. Like I actually pulled my son from public school and tried to put him in private school. Like we went through it quite a bit. Like once we left, we were at Holland Bloorview from kindergarten till grade 1, and then kind of put into a public school, and it was quite tough to acclimatize to a regular public school that just didn't have programs in place.
Well, they also don't have facilities a lot of times, do they? They don't even have washrooms that are accessible. They don't have...
You'd be surprised how limited it is. Like I had to fight to get my son into an accessible school.
Wow.
Like it was very, very difficult. Like out of the whole city, they place you into quadrants and you might have a choice of 2 schools. So it is
Wow.
very, very difficult.
It doesn't seem fair, does it?
Again, it comes back to a lack of awareness and just really pushing for education on how necessary this is. And I think the other thing that Variety Village does is they include not just people with disabilities, but elderly people, like it's all abilities. So like I know so many elderly people that go there because it's a great community for them as well. It gives them something to do. It gives them a place to meet other elderly people, they can still go to the gym, they can go swimming, like they can stay active. So that's kind of huge too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And in the school system, it would be nice if the schools were integrated so that all kids could learn to get along with each other happily.
Well, in the perfect world, we're getting there. We're working on it.
Yeah, we are working on it, I think. It's things like this where we bring awareness to it and we start talking about it that makes the possibilities happen, I think.
Well, that's it. And our programs are designed for children with a disability, of course, but really our programs are beneficial for everybody because it's not, the whole point is how to get kids off the sidelines and into the game. It's about breaking down barriers. And it's about giving these kids confidence, but also about teaching the wider community the importance of really being inclusive and accessible and the role that we all play in that.
Mm-hmm. And it's an attitude change, isn't it?
It is. Yep.
Yeah. So Mary Jo, does Alexander or AJ, I think that's what you called him at one point.
Yeah, either one is fine.
Is he in a school now that's what you would call a special school, or is he in the mainstream?
He's in a congregate school called Drury, and we found that it focuses mostly on life skills, which we found more beneficial for him. Like they do math, they do English, but they also teach about finances. They teach about cooking, life skills, which we find in mainstream he doesn't really get. So this, it's a good school. It's focused more on how this kid is going to transition from being a child to an adult. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty important. And we find that it's lacking a little bit in the public system, at least for kids with different abilities.
Oh, I think it's lacking in the public school system for kids with all abilities.
I'm trying to be nice, Brenda. I'm really trying to be nice here.
You're trying really hard, and I can feel it. Yeah. I have 4 kids, and I know that the life skills that are taught in our high schools are slim to nil at the best of times. When you can graduate after all those years of school and you still don't know how to fill out a tax form, there's something wrong with the system.
They should be teaching finances, and they should be teaching kids again, like how to boil a pot of water.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, like if you don't know that, there's a bit of an issue. Like they can't even make their own craft dinner. Like it's a problem.
Mm-hmm. My sister goes. She lives in Switzerland, and grade 1 is all life. Not grade 1, kindergarten is all life skills, and it's the most common grade of all of the grades to fail. And you can have kids that are 2 years in kindergarten because you have to learn how to sew a button on a shirt, boil water, all life skills, things that'll get you through your life. And it's not a social stigma to stay behind and do another year. It just is the way it is.
I'm just surprised that they would ever take that away. Like I remember growing up with social studies or family studies or whatever they called it. And now they don't have it. And I don't really understand why. But anyways.
Yeah.
We're off topic.
Yeah, it's a little off topic, but it all comes back to the same thing. It comes to understanding each other, functioning in a society together, and being functioning together. I mean, some kids miss out on life skills because their parents aren't around to teach them. They're working or busy or whatever. So I think Variety Village should be every school.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty like they really do have a lot of amazing programs that you just can't find anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. So how does it work? Is it like a community center so the families can sign up and become a member? How does it work?
Yeah, that's exactly how it works. And we run, so with your membership, you have access to the facility, so you can come and use the equipment, swim in the pool. Then there's also programs that you can sign your children up for, which are an extra fee. And there's, in addition to that, we have camps, and we have about 7 competitive teams, 3 in swimming, track, wheelchair basketball, and weightlifting and taekwondo.
Wow. All things that I am absolutely pathetic at.
Well, another fun fact, since the 70s, when we didn't need to be a school anymore because the schools recognized that they needed to accommodate children with a disability, we had this great building and this incredible opportunity to expand on our building, and that's when we became a training and recreational facility and built our pool and our track and our indoor basketball courts. And we were able, because of the varying disciplines that we were able to train here on, we attracted athletes from all over Ontario to come and train here. And since the 70s, late 70s, variety athletes and coaches have represented Canada at every single Summer Paralympic game.
Wow. I was going to ask you that. You just answered my next question. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That is truly
pretty proud
amazing.
of us.
Yeah. You should be. That's a great thing. And it's nice, too, that they're now getting recognition, and CBC is, playing some of the events at the Paralympics and things like that. It's fascinating to watch. I get really caught up in it, quite honestly.
Yeah.
I'm an Olympics
It's amazing
junkie.
to see the resilience and skill of these athletes.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I've watched some of these athletes, too, over the years, and my mind is blown. Like, I like to take my son in, and we'll watch. For me, it's like showing him, like, you think you can't do something, you're wrong. You know what I mean? Just because you're not doing it like everybody else doesn't mean it can't be done. And that's one of the amazing things about going to Variety Village and just experiencing it and just seeing how these people adapt and what they've done. And it's mind blowing. And it really teaches you that, your problem, like whatever you think your problems are, they're nothing. You know what I mean? There's ways to get past them. There's different perspectives to take. Mm-hmm. Like, I think people need to realize, like, just change your perspective. There's always another way.
Right. Well, I must say that it was absolutely wonderful to watch Alexander with the bicycle, and you were bold enough to put it on Facebook and let everybody see, and there he is riding on his bike. He was so happy. He was just over the moon, and you've got him on the video and you in the background yelling, and it was fantastic. It was really good. I think everybody who has you in a social media context was all rooting for him, and his bicycle was fantastic. I mean, that was such a great piece of equipment, start to finish. Does he still use it?
I'm not sure which clip you're talking about, but we have a new one that we got. It's a recumbent bike, so it actually folds and it's lower. And this kid, I can't keep up with him. Like, he goes too fast. So most of the time I'm terrified because I'm trying to stop him from, crashing. But he's become a real daredevil. Like he's just started talking to me about jumping out of an airplane.
Ooh.
So now I have to kind of like, okay, hang on a second. It's almost gone too far the other way. So, but that's the amazing thing, right? Like, he's at a point now where he's starting to believe that he can do anything. And that's what we wanted.
That's the best thing of all. So we're going to take a little break now on that note. That's a really positive note. And when we come back, we'll continue our conversation. We're speaking today with Variety Village's Karen Stintz and Mary Jo Vradis. We'll be right back, so stay tuned. Hi, this is Bren, host of Fresh Waves. Hey, Fresh Waves is a broadcast and a podcast. We are on Whistle FM Sunday mornings at 7 a.m. And if you'd like to hear this broadcast again or listen at your leisure, you can go to our YouTube channel, Fresh Waves Radio. Hit subscribe. We love to have subscribers. If you've got a story or a charity, a fundraiser, something that you'd like to tell us about, you can send me an email, bren@freshwaves.ca. Now, let's get back to the show. Hi, we're back on Fresh Waves. I'm your host, Bren Masson. Today we're speaking with Karen Stintz of Variety Village and Mary Jo Vradis, and we're talking about Variety Village and all the fun things that they have to offer. And I think right now we'll switch hats and talk about some of your events that are coming up, because a facility like this that includes basketball courts and swimming pools and, thousands of square feet requires a really big budget to operate. So what do you guys do to get funds to operate such a fantastic facility?
Yeah, we get revenue from a variety of sources. We do collect membership revenue, but of course that doesn't cover the full cost of operating the facility, because we also want to keep it affordable for families. And so we do receive subsidy from the provincial government to help offset some of our programming costs. And we rely on fundraisers. And so every month we're out raising money. And for the month of April, we have our Campfire Social, which is our inaugural kickoff event and for raising money for camps, because we want to make sure that more kids have the opportunity to go to camp. We found through the pandemic we were able to keep offering our camps, and it was really life-changing for some of these kids who had been in isolation for a long period of time. And being able to come to camp and interact with other kids over the summer was truly remarkable for kids and their families. So we always knew we ran a great camp program, but we recognized the value of camps to kids that are growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we want to do is we want to raise money, not just for our camps, but we want to raise money for kids with disabilities to go to the camp of their choice. Because again, not every kid can come here, but every kid should have the opportunity to go to camp.
When you say camp, you're running a summer program at your facility as opposed to going up north somewhere.
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
Yes. But one of the partnership agreements we have is with Camp Awakening, and that is an overnight camp for kids with disabilities. And so we've partnered with them because we want to be able to sponsor a child to go to Camp Awakening and make sure that they have the full experience of overnight camp once they outgrow our camp.
So when
Camp Awakening, by the way, is amazing. Like my son goes there, so that's an amazing opportunity. Just so people understand.
Where's Camp Awakening?
So,
yeah, like I drive my son there every year, but I have to look it up. Sorry, but I mean, if you Google it, you'd find it. It's an amazing overnight camp. My son goes there for two weeks, and it's completely adaptive, and they get to do all the fun things at camp that regular kids do, and it's not. There's not many places that offer that.
Yeah. So we want to just make that opportunity available to all kids, and we don't want money to be a barrier for their ability to participate. So we're launching our Campfire Social. It's on April the 14th. We've got a wonderful lineup of fun things to do, and it's going to be a great event. It's going to be the first time we've done this type of event, and we're recognizing that we're coming out of COVID, and people are still getting used to not having as many restrictions, and also it's people haven't really been dressing up in their gala wear for the last couple of years, so we wanted to keep it a little bit more casual and do something that's a bit fun, but also within the theme of the kids that we're supporting.
So tell us a bit about the event itself. I understand tickets are available through your website.
They are, yep. Tickets are $135, and there's also an eligibility for a partial tax receipt on that. So the event starts at 6. It's down by Queen's Quay at the Goodman Pub in downtown Toronto, and it's really going to be more food stations as opposed to a sit-down meal. And so included in the ticket, there's food and drink. The bar will be open until about 10:30, and we have some great live entertainment by Dr. Draw, who is a fiddler, electric fiddler. So he's got quite a following. We'll have silent auction items. We'll have some local celebrities that are play for the Arrows, the rugby club attending, and our board members will be there. So it'll just be a fantastic evening.
Sounds like a lot of fun. It's and you have a silent auction and that kind of thing. So there's just something for everyone again. And it's
Absolutely.
at a pub. What a novel idea. Wow, COVID has really changed so many things, hasn't it?
It really has. And we had a number of fundraising events that were, pretty standard that we had to basically stop running because we couldn't get people to come together in person. And so it's caused us, certainly as an organization, to be more nimble and flexible and creative around how we reach out to our community and fundraise. But it's also brought us together in a lot of ways, too, that have been really quite remarkable.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you have other fundraisers that you want to mention while you happen to be here?
Yeah, we have our golf tournament that'll happen in June. We have the Pizza Nova. I think Mary Jo alluded to it. The Pizza Nova runs a month-long campaign for us in May, the Dip and Give campaign. So 50 cents for every dip that you buy comes to Vradis Village. And last year we raised a significant amount of money, over $200,000 for Vradis. So it was a really successful campaign.
Wow.
Yep. So if you can't golf, if you don't like golf and you can't come to the pub, then buy some Pizza Nova dip, and that will help variety as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and the silent auction is also online. So you can actually, if you want, Brenda, we can send you the link.
Perfect.
And maybe when you post this, you can actually post the silent auction link as well.
Yeah, that's great. And if people want to just donate and they don't feel like going to the pub and they can't play golf,
they can do that too. Yeah, there's a donation button on our site, and we welcome all donations. It's going to a good cause. I can assure you, it goes directly to the kids. That's
great. That's really, really terrific. I think your pub idea sounds really good. Let me know how it goes, because maybe next year you actually do have a campfire there. Again, when I first heard about it, I thought about the outdoor fire pit that they have in Collingwood at the Blue Mountain Village. And I was thinking, an actual campfire outside, that would be so great. Then, the practicality of that is something else to be dealt with. But it's a nice feel, that kind of, like to call it the campfire social. It has a really good feel to it. It's a good, very creative fundraiser.
Thank you. In the fall, we have our food truck festival, which is super fun. This will be the second year we're running it. We had 14 food trucks come out, and we had live music. And unfortunately, it rained on us one day, but we prevailed. And we had a beer tent, and it was great. It was a great event. So there's always lots going on. Every month we have something.
Okay.
And, we really want to engage the community and make sure people know what we're doing here.
Okay. And
there's also the annual Christmas party, which is always a huge event.
That's right.
We just honestly, because of COVID, that unfortunately didn't happen last year. But I mean, we go to it every year and we love it.
Mm-hmm. And maybe this year people will want to wear their fancy duds because it's been so long. They're going to have to get the dust off of them in the closet. Yeah.
Here's open.
Yeah. It'd be nice to get back out and do some things like that. And then when you're doing that, you're also helping a good cause. So it sounds like a win-win all around.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely a win-win.
Okay, now tell us a little bit about your volunteers and your volunteer programs.
We have an incredible volunteer program right now, and we rely on our volunteers to help us run our events. We also run the 50-50 for the rugby arrows game, that all the home games that are in Toronto, and we have our volunteers come and help us with that. We have our volunteers help us run some of our programs. And it's incredible. The dedication and the support of the mission by our volunteers is really remarkable and inspiring.
And do you get people to volunteer even in the summer? And I see on your website too that you can get your community service hours for high school students.
Yep, absolutely. And I know that during COVID the requirement was reduced for community hours. But as of next year, it will go back up again. So absolutely, if anyone's looking for hours, please come to Variety Village. We can keep you busy.
Okay. Now, earlier you were saying that seniors can use the facility and it gives them a sense of community, something to do in the day. Do the seniors get the opportunity to volunteer as well?
Yeah, they do. We have lots of opportunities for seniors to volunteer. As I say, we run a lot of events during the day at the facility that are more conducive to a senior's schedule and interest. But, as I say, there's lots going on, and we welcome any volunteer that wants to come and participate. Okay.
That sounds like a mammoth undertaking to organize all of those volunteers.
Yes, but we have an incredible organizer, Smita, who does that for us, and she's quite, it's actually quite remarkable.
Yeah.
We have corporate engagement days where corporate teams or corporate groups come here and learn about accessibility and inclusion, and we might get them to participate in wheelchair basketball or even Volt hockey, and then they may wish to volunteer, fixing something in the building or doing the garden, and our volunteers we rely on for help with those activities as well.
Okay, and you have after-school programs as well, I see, on your website.
We do. Yep, we have after-school programs. We have March break camps, PA day camps, and so we really, we like to say we support the community from, beginning on.
Right. Now, do you have a waiting list of people trying to get into your facility to become members?
No, we don't have a wait list for membership, but we do have a wait list for some of our programs. And we also, unfortunately, have a wait list for our camps, which is, a problem that I didn't want to have because I don't like to see kids that want to come here for camp not be able to. But the success of our camps is such that they filled up really fast this year. And there are wait lists for some of, and swimming too. There's wait lists for our swimming program, wait lists for our camps.
Now, if you had more dollars coming in, would that help the situation? Or is it simply just a lack of space?
No, I mean, it is, no, in this case, actually, we find ourselves in a situation with staffing being a challenge, in that lifeguards haven't been certified over the last 2 years, and swim instructors haven't been certified. Oh. So we actually just don't have the staff to be able to offer the programs. And we've got about 100 less kids a year going through our swim programs as a result.
Wow. That's, again, something that people don't think about, the effects that COVID has had on our society as a whole.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually quite significant because it's not just us experiencing the lifeguard shortage. It's the it's the cities, the municipalities. There's, I know that different municipalities are using different strategies. We're actually right now going to pay for individuals that have their Bronze Cross and Bronze Medallion. If they want to get certified to be a lifeguard, we'll pay for the course in return for them making an employment commitment for a period of time with us.
Well, that's a good idea. Yep. You kind of have to do that because of the way things are. I mean, lifeguarding is one of those things that you could probably do some of the learning online, but the basic skills, you have to be there in person. You can't just do that online.
Absolutely.
More than anything, we're trying to get as many people out to participate at the upcoming fundraiser, which is on April 14th. Every year, that's kind of one of the bigger ones. So I think if everybody can go online, either donate on the silent auction or at Variety Village itself, or show up, buy a ticket for somebody else, sort of like the pay it forward opportunity. It's a lot of fun. Like I love the silent auctions personally. I always buy something at the silent auction. There's so many really cool things that are donated. I believe there's probably going to be stuff from the Blue Jays. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but we'll send you the link, and I'm sure that everybody will see something of interest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of our auction items actually is a guitar signed by Sarah McLaughlin.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always some really, really cool stuff on there. Like I've bought some great art in past years, and Raptors tickets. So yeah, I love these events. Yeah, love these events. So I think people really need to jump on there and see, because there's just really some cool stuff.
Yeah, and then you're getting something that you would really like to have and contributing to a fantastic organization all at the same time.
Absolutely.
Again, another win-win. If anyone would like to get a hold of you guys down there at Variety Village, how do they go about doing it?
Well, they can go to our website. Our website is varietyontario.ca, and all the information about what we do and how to donate is on there.
Okay, and if you're a senior and you're not having access to a computer, you're listening to this on the radio, how do we get a hold of Variety Village?
You just call 416-699-7167.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon, ladies. It's been very eye-opening, and I hope that you get a great turnout for your campfire social and all the other activities that are going on at Variety Village. Mary Jo, say hi to Alexander for us. And
I will. Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks for joining us, Karen. I know you're busy. It sounds like you're really busy. And I think if I had something on my wish list, I'm serious when I say that there should be a facility like Variety Village in every municipality across this country.
Well, let's help make that happen.
Yeah, let's do it.
By donating.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks for joining us on Fresh Waves today.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Bren from Fresh Waves. Hey, earlier in the show, we were talking about Camp Awakening. And Camp Awakening is a camp for kids with disability, and they work in sponsorship with pre-existing camps. So Mary Jo wasn't too sure where the camp is. She said she just drives there. In fact, the camp for boys is Camp Kilcoo in Minden. And it's in the Haliburton Highlands. It's a beautiful camp. I've been there before myself. They have a lovely, lovely property. And the camp for girls is Camp Oconto, which I've also been to. Makes me kind of a camp girl, doesn't it? And Camp Oconto is just north of Kingston, Ontario. Again, a beautiful property. And these camps are a fabulous place for kids to go in the summer and get some outdoor experience and the real up north kind of living. So if you can help out by sponsoring a kid to go to camp or just donating to Variety Village so that they can continue with the fabulous programming that they have, that would be wonderful. You can go to their website, and all of the information about donating is there on their website, varietyvillageontario.ca. Give them your support. It's a really worthwhile cause. Hey, Fresh Waves is a broadcast and a podcast. We are on Whistle FM Sunday mornings at 7 a.m. And if you'd like to hear this broadcast again or listen at your leisure, you can go to our YouTube channel, Fresh Waves Radio. Hit subscribe. We love to have subscribers. If you've got a story or a charity, a fundraiser, something that you'd like to tell us about, you can send me an email, bren@freshwaves.ca. Now, let's get back to the show. Well, we're very happy to have on the line right now Jason Rumball. And Jason, you've been on Fresh Waves before. You're the technical producer of Fresh Waves. You are a grown man now, but you were once a child living with disabilities, and you used Variety Village.
I sure did. You had some great memories down there. Like I was living in Scarborough at the time, so when I first started out.
Now, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was the feeling of inclusivity. And that's something that strikes me as being a wonderful, wonderful aspect of Variety Village.
Oh, definitely. I mean, back then it was mostly people with physical disabilities, but there's also people with Down syndrome and other things, and just going there. I mean, it's all about inclusivity. Being able to be with other people of different abilities. Like everybody had, some people needed more assistance with things, but then there's some, like myself, that was a little bit more independent. So, Variety Village was a way to, they found a way to make sure everybody was able to, participate in the different activities and all work together. And it's all about inclusivity for sure.
Now, what about the aspect of self-confidence? Did you feel like you could conquer the world while you were there?
It would maximize my potential to, I realized that, sure, I have some limitations, but I can use that to the best of my ability to get the exercise. And, I was, when I was doing swimming lessons, I was, afraid of the water, but they guided me along to say, oh, you can do it. You can, swim and, keep kicking your legs, because my legs were, weak. So they knew that was a key area to, to work on the muscles there. So, and swimming was just a great activity to do that. And I would go for, swimming lessons, once a week, and just noticing an improvement and more of a confidence in, doing the kicks and floating and stuff like that. And, after a while, I just wasn't, afraid of the water anymore. And you would get one-on-one attention, which was great. I mean, I've had some group lessons, but I found the one-on-one, attention, they could really focus in on, leg strength and being able to do a back float. And it's a full body workout sort of thing. And so I found, their swimming program was excellent.
And I bet that carried over into your regular everyday life, because when you're feeling more confident about your abilities, you just have a better attitude.
You do, definitely. I mean, when it comes to doing other activities that, it was taking up the word I can't and saying, no, I can do this. Like, sure, I have, things that, might have decreased strength, but I try to push myself as hard as I can and realize that, I can do these things, not to have any fear and have the confidence to, overcome, any type of, anxiety or whatever, that, just go ahead and do it and do it the best I can.
Mm-hmm. Now, Karen was telling us that one of the things that Variety Village does now is they implement programs in schools and things like that to help teachers and to help educate students on inclusivity and making kids feel welcomed. And so, what do you think of that? Is that a good idea to do in the public school system?
I think it is. I think it's an excellent idea, because I think that's where. You do what you can at Variety Village, but that should also carry into the public school system when it comes to, physical, education and stuff like that. And being, you're going to be there alongside the able-bodied, kids. So I think that's a good idea to able-bodied can learn from the, person with the, limitation, but the limitation can learn from the able-bodied, and all work together as, one team, if they're playing a team sport or some individual thing. And I think it's a great idea. Yeah. And
then I think when the kids get that kind of an education at a young age, it travels through with them into their adulthood, and they become, I think, better adults for it when they grow up with inclusivity and accepting for people the way they are, and being kind to others and not bullying them, and none of this finger pointing, look at that guy or look at that girl, but just accepting them for who they are.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it just carries on into adulthood, and that's what I found that I got. Like, I was bullied till maybe grade 11, but then after that, people seemed to see me for what I could really do, and I think that impressed them that I'm a pretty independent guy, and I try to do the best I can, and it carried on to adulthood for me, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And now that you do the clubbing scene in downtown Toronto when it's not a pandemic, and you do that techno music thing, I mean, you really fit into that world very nicely, and people are very welcoming and accepting of you and your differences, because in the world of the techno music, it doesn't really matter, does it?
No, it doesn't. Like I go down there, and sometimes I might go on my own or whatever, and I'm there to dance, and people they just say that, oh, here's this guy Jay, he just wants to dance, and let's just have some fun, and not judge him for that's what the one thing that I thought, oh, they're going to be looking at me because I walk funny or dance funny or whatever, but nobody was judging me. Like, I felt I feel so welcome when I go to these events, and it's a great feeling.
That's fantastic, and that comes from education, right?
Right, definitely. Education is the key, for sure.
And awareness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks for joining us today, Jay, and thanks for lending us your experiences so that we can learn and become more accepting of people and their, you don't want to always say disabilities. I know that the words have changed over the years. Didn't you tell me once that there were other words that people used to call you back in the day?
Yeah, they you'd call me, crippled or handicapped, or they assume that you also have like a mental deficiency as well. So, those kind of things. Like that was a lot of what I was dealing with. Both being made fun of, because the way I walk, or they thought maybe I talk funny or whatever. So,
So how about we say people of unique abilities?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. No. Everybody. Regardless of what you can do, everybody has the unique ability, and it's all comes down to finding what your strengths are. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you had some positive experiences, and I'm glad that you could share your positive experiences of Variety Village with the listeners today. And they have some great fundraisers coming up, so I do encourage everyone to go to their website and either make a donation or maybe sign on for one of the up-and-coming events.
Right, exactly. And one other thing, I just thinking of my time there, they had these different games. Like, we had a little mini Olympics there. So that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, they actually have athletes that train there for the Paralympics.
Right.
Amazing. So it's a fantastic facility.
It sure is. Yeah.
All right, Jay, well, you have a terrific day, and thanks again for joining us.
My pleasure. Yeah, thanks for having me on the show again.
Well, that's it for Freshwaves this week. I'm your host, Bren Masson. Join us every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. on Whistle FM or anytime you like on YouTube at Freshwaves Radio. Hey, this was a wonderful show, and anytime we can support an organization as fantastic as Variety Village, we will take the opportunity. So if you have a story you'd like to tell us or an organization that you think we should know about, just send me an email, bren@freshwaves.ca, and we'll have a chat and get your organization onto the air. Hope everybody has a fabulous day, and we'll talk to you again next time on Fresh Waves.